Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Skyfalls Trifles. That's what we're now calling the game. Last episode things kind of got a little bit disastrous around the city, kind of got fed up with some of the problems that were going on here, and I decided to sort of go back to the drawing board, go and read up tutorials, go and learn things about the game again, because it's quite easy to get stuck in your ways and kind of forget to do some of the basics. And through reading some things I picked up some interesting tips and I kind of want to go over them with you. So let's go with tip number one, which I thought was fascinating. Over here, the farming district, we now have a policy on this one, which is the water usage. So apparently different types of industry will use different amounts of resources and have been only found out this so far, but have been looking for other bits of information as well. But apparently farms use more water, so if you use this in this district, then it's actually going to save you a little bit of money, which I thought was interesting. So perhaps some of these other ones have the same traits as well. Well, that's fascinating. I'm not surprised to see this happen. I've been letting the game run, observing things, checking things out, and you can see that some of our industries have shrunk drastically, which is kind of interesting considering our population has gone up. But anyway, we kind of run into some strange problems here because we're playing with a disconnected city and we're struggling to get people to use the public transport. And this road shouldn't be here. That's a hangover right there from where I was getting the grid from one side to the other. So if you remember, the problem that we were facing that was quite difficult to deal with was this low land value. And if we actually do some observations here, and I bet some of you are probably yelling at me for this, education progress and happiness is at 0. And this feels like a little bit of a bug, because why are they both on 0? It doesn't quite make sense, does it? If we go and have a look at education, you can see here that things are alright, but some houses just seem to get missed out, and I think what we need to look at is the availability. I think our area is a little bit disconnected and the information here is a bit misleading, because I solved the problems over here by adding in another high school. Then all of a sudden all of these homes jumped up and their education status was fine. So what I realised what we were looking at is there's like a green zone reach area, but there's also a capacity that you need to factor in. So if we're in this green, I mean we could even be all the way on the green side, because we could build 100 elementary schools around this road, and if we plop one down in this area, it doesn't mean it accommodates for the entire place. So at the moment we're looking at high schools. What about elementary schools? There's still some buildings that are left out, so we've got what, 4 of those in the area. Let's do a bit of an experiment and just plop one down. I'm not going to be fussy about, you know, removing some houses. We're doing experiments here. And you saw a similar thing going on with the high school as well. We've only got 1 in this area. Over here you can see some low land value, the occasional red house. Maybe it's a capacity issue. Let's go and plop down a high school just there. I was trying to take out as few houses as possible, and I took out quite a few, I think. And now we're going to click on these houses and see what's happening. You see education progress is all the way down, so is happiness. And land value should not be an issue, even though that's what the thing tells us. So we got a little thrown off our game there. You can see they're the houses that are bringing the land value down, funny enough. Anyway, this might need a little bit of time to develop for all of that to kick in. So some good sort of city design and distribution between the high schools and the amount of buildings around them for students would be a good thing. And it may just be that these ones won't be able to solve their problem for a while. But we'll come back and look at that again. So yeah, I think that was part of the issue. A moment ago, all of this was absolutely fine. I was going to comment on that as well, and that's now shrunk drastically over here. I mean, there's problems everywhere. This whole disconnected layout is certainly something where I'm sort of over my head. And this area is now shrinking as well. So we're seeing a massive industry shrinkage with no residential shrinkage. That must mean that our employment is going down, right? No, it's gone up to 97 from 95%. Kind of bizarre. Looks like we've got a few trash issues over here. That's not actually surprising. So I decided to ditch the whole 150% thing. I've been reading some guides, some tutorials offering tips, which is stuff that we learnt before and kind of forgotten. You know, if you're generating too much electricity, turn the budget down a little bit, save a little bit of money. And there you go, it drops down immediately. Water availability, let's just drop it down a little bit. 5% lower, and it goes a little lower right there. So this is like a balancing act. Now with the incinerators, again, they're not evenly distributed, so we'll probably find that the one that we have over here is going into these 2 areas, and it's not enough to accommodate for all of this. So we probably actually need a second one over here. Whereas up on this hill, for this tiny area, we've got 2 of them, although one of them is actually turned off. So when it comes to balancing that, you can see we've got more incinerators overall. Probably this one right here would be a good example because there's so little places for it to go to compared to the one over here. So when we lower the budget, we actually negatively affect this area, which is interesting. And again, it's going to be a problem of our disconnected city design because we're going to have to balance everything a lot more. So those are some of the things that I've learnt so far, and as of right now I just want to kick back and observe the city, and I'm kind of feeling like we've jumped so far into this and we've got some core problems here which may come back and bite us later on. So the death waves. The death waves, you know all about those, and we're going to see those in the future because citizens actually have a fixed lifespan and they go through different stages in their lifespan, like education and then working. And so if you zone out a big area all at once, like we did here, then those people are all going to die at a similar kind of time because they're all part of the same generation, they all get to a similar age. I don't know if it's like exact that they all die, after, I don't know, they reach age 90 and then the game says, okay, you've snuffed it, or something like that. Here we go, look, we've got a couple of houses down here. No education progress, no happiness. Although that one, oh, it just changed. Interesting stuff. Gonna have to keep my eye on those because they keep popping up here and there. Again, I think the main problem with this is the disconnected nature of the city. It's not like, because they can't get their education here or something here, that there's another area nearby. They go a little further to get their needs. They're completely disconnected and they're not using public transport for the things that they should be. And you can see the trash problem really is a problem over here. But we're not going to worry about that because we're just chilling out and checking out the city. So the death problem is going to hit us because we did all of this at once. And what we should have done perhaps is, like put down one block at a time, waited, put the next block. And we've kind of like jumped into this game just zoning like crazy and just feeling a little bit kind of annoyed about it. Like, I thought I knew what I was doing, and then it feels like I've sort of walked backwards a little bit. So let's build another incinerator over here, and then lower the budget, because we've got more than enough for the other areas. So by doubling it here, if we then go and lower the budget, they're both going to put out less trucks, but more overall. So let's go down to like 65%. And that's how you actually work the budget. And as soon as I saw that, I was just like, yeah, like obviously that's how it works. And I guess sometimes you just need something to nudge you along. So anyway, more observations. Going to try and figure out things and formulate a plan for fixing our awful, awful city, which has really just fallen apart. So I've been reading more on the game, and I think the issue is that we have these separated areas, and then we also had a connected area. That's right. I decided to just remove this entire area. And is it me, or was our population the same before I decided to do this? I'm pretty sure it was around 24,000. Either way, the city seems slightly healthier now. I need to really go and demolish all of this because we're done with that. That was our temporary base, and now this one is running. I've noticed that the commercial issues around here have finally disappeared. So, well, I say finally, there's still maybe one or two more buildings left, but the not enough goods and not enough customers ones have gone away. So things kind of feel like they're in the balance. However, after zoning out a little bit more commercial on the inside over here, our population rises and then the demand comes back again. So I'm guessing that maybe these houses over here have sort of upgraded, and it certainly looks like they have. Look at that, they're on the highest level, 10 out of 25, 9 out of 19, and 12 out of 26. I imagine what's happening is, as our population's expanding, people are moving into this area because there's plenty of space, but we're not seeing it visually because we don't have loads of new buildings popping up. And another testament to that would be this zone around the outside here that isn't expanding. So if we click on a few more buildings, you can see that there is actually room for more residents to move in. So maybe that's where they're all going at the moment, and that's fine, we'll be able to deal with that. But then over here we've got a little bit of a traffic problem, as you can see. More and more traffic being generated at the moment. It felt like a moment ago there wasn't much at all to talk about, and then all of a sudden this problem here appeared, and it's a little bit worse from when I started recording. So what I'm thinking we should do is create a little road that comes off the edge here. So if you want to leave, you go off that way, and if you want to come into the city, you go this way. So we can give that a little upgrade and turn it that way, like that. So that's the way in, and that's the way out. This, though, should probably be on the other side, maybe? I'm thinking this will help. And shouldn't that get rid of the traffic lights as well? In theory it helps, but you can see that they're all getting held up because they're all going into one lane, despite they're not needing to turn on that side. So we've got all these lanes here that aren't being used. I wonder if upgrading to that type will make people use the other lanes. Oh, there we go. Did some people just use the other one? I'm not sure. They're using it on this side down here. That's interesting. And then they all try and merge when they get to the highway. So maybe if half of this right here was different. And boy oh boy is this tricky to work with. So we make a little off-road. Then we pick our one way like this. And we upgrade that little section. And that seems to get them using multiple lanes. But then they all try and go into one anyway. It is pretty typical. Maybe a lane down here would help change... Sorry, a turning off would help change the roads. And it looks like we're not going to be able to do that. So what if we had a turning there? Would that make them... Aha! Look! Now they can use the other lanes. So let's delete that road. Change this one right here back. And that's me clicking on the wrong thing, basically. There we go. So now, maybe they will use the other lanes as well. Doesn't look good, does it? And as we're doing this, loads more traffic being generated. Yeah, they all just want to use the same lane each time. Even if they're going somewhere else, it looks like. I'm not sure. Maybe this road, this incoming one, should actually connect up over there. Let's give that a try. I just noticed something. Look at this. Our industry has been restored. And over here. And over there. And over here. And there are no worker problem issue things. There's no little bubbles for it. That's terrific. I'm dead certain that perhaps we have maybe... That's not very dead certain, is it? But it looks like we're on the road to recovery here. These changes have made a big difference. I'm now wondering if disconnecting these roads will bring the problem back or not, or that maybe the extra few cars that travel back and forth between are doing a really good thing here. Also, we're still importing goods from the outside technically, so another experiment would be to disconnect this rail and see if we still survive. So at the moment it looks like we're going to need to increase the budget. Actually, that's gone up quite a bit because our population is steadily rising. So we need another police station over here, and I think what we should do is perhaps put one... If that was an actual road going between, that would probably be quite useful to help distribute. We could do that really easily. We could actually upgrade this into a regular road. So let's just... Oh no, we're on the upgrade tool. Let's actually do that. Let's have a little change. So we'll put that there, and then we'll go and have a look at the police station. So we'll put one over there. Is that fine? I think it is. And then we'll relocate the other one over to the other side. So you can go and sit right there. And then let's have a look at our distribution. So the middle, it's good for this side. Oh, I've put it in the wrong place. That's kind of... How did I manage to do that? Let's move it over to the other side. Wait, where is it? No, I clicked on the wrong thing. That's why. Oh, God. Okay, there we go. So coverage is actually now pretty good. So hopefully that should help with the crime problems. And there you go. The bubbles pop away. So a little bit of redesign and we've solved that issue. That's awesome. So yeah, I think now is a good time for maintenance and observation once again. We're steadily recovering, we're learning things. It looks like we've got a few crime issues over here. And I think what I'm going to do is demolish all of this because there's crime issues and this is going to contribute to our statistics. If we have a look at our vitals watch, this will be part of crime, all of this over here. So I'll demolish all of this. Again, sit back, watch, see what happens. But it's nice to see things heading in a healthy direction, as you can see right here. While I've been doing some demolition work, the city has shut down. Look at this, we've got trains backing up. I think there's too many coming in from outside. Oh yeah, there's problems here. And then that's caused a traffic problem right here, which has caused all of this to back up. And now there's a death problem as well. I imagine the traffic is stopping crematoriums getting to the houses. It's bad. It's really bad. And it's time for us to start the next experiment. So we're going to disconnect ourselves from the outside world. And we're going to produce all of our goods internally. And hopefully we'll be sufficient enough to survive this. If you wanted to see it, there you go. It's all been cleared out. And I'm not bothered about this. I'm at this point now with the game where it just feels like... maybe I wanted to do too much. I wanted to try and play it the way it wasn't supposed to be played. So we're trying to figure things out a little bit. And if it doesn't work, I'm not bothered. But I imagine this is all of our goods now just disappearing. Yeah, look at that. 100% load. Heading out of the city with all of our goods to sell. And now it's just disappearing. We might see our income plummet because of this, by the way. And it's fluctuating a little bit at the moment. And now we don't have goods to sell because, as you know, we are disconnected from the outside world. So we will wait around and see what happens. These traffic problems are probably going to be a bit of a bigger issue than I would have liked. And maybe it would have been smart to have waited a while before doing that. But it seems to be alleviating now. It's a strange game, that's no doubt, because we're having the mass death exodus right now. This is because we zoned it all way too quick. It's having on both sides at the same time, though, which is interesting. But I noticed that some of these areas, people were moving out, yet our population steadily increases, and we just reached the last city size, so we can get nuclear power. So I found all of that a little bit strange. I've also been observing this area over here. Initially, it had a huge amount of demand, so I expanded it. And you can see here not enough buyers for products. So now we have this excessive demand for industrial, and over here things are looking okay though. Expanded these zones a little bit, but not enough people to buy them, which is interesting. So why is our demand so high? So over here you can see a little bit of a death problem in the city, in the commercial area. Been adjusting the budget so the crematoriums can get out to them. And time again people ask, maybe some people want to be buried. The game itself makes no preference whatsoever. These are two pretty much the same way for getting rid of bodies. One puts them in the ground, the other one will burn them up, and the citizens have no preferences. So anyway, this hasn't received any more customers or deliveries, I guess you could say, since I built another one over on this side. We had some huge traffic problems over here, and I thought, why don't we put in a second one and see if that helps with the amount coming through. Now you may actually need a second line. You might need like 2 separate lines and 2 lots of cargo bays, but we can see here that it's not doing anything. I've been watching it and nothing's been coming over to this side now, so you can have pretty much one per area, it looks like, which is interesting. And there's traffic problems over here, but in general feels like the production of goods is slowing down. So once again, making changes, things backfiring, and doesn't really feel great. And at the moment what I'm going to do is probably disconnect this from the city and see what happens as well. Remember, our goal here was to create a city where things could be separated and people would use transport to travel back and forth between places, which I've been told by a lot of you that it can be done. However, I don't seem to be able to get it to work for me. I don't know. Anyway, the next experiment, even though this one has gone pretty poorly, is to disconnect the road over here and then see what happens to the city. So I noticed that a lot of these buildings that were complaining were actually getting demolished automatically, so I thought I'd leave it alone for a moment, and then something kind of dawned on me. Because we disconnected ourselves from the outside world, we can't sell our the overproduced products. And look at this, our percentage of employment has actually gone down. So the reason that we're seeing a lot of this is because people want jobs, and then the way we provide the jobs is like this, I guess, or through offices. Maybe that's what we actually need. Maybe we just need more offices right now because we clearly don't have enough customers to buy the amount of products that we're creating here. So initially we were selling them before, and that's where our jobs were going. So this explains why employment is down. That's good. I feel like we learned something there. Let's put the auto demolition back on and let's completely dezone these areas right now. And I guess the next thing for us to do then is to find a place to actually put those jobs, which will probably be over in this area. And I didn't really have too many plans for what I was going to do next. I was thinking more residential around here, but we can put some offices in here. Maybe we'll make these strips of offices between the different residential areas that we could build on either side. So that could make things quite convenient, really. We can just have a strip of offices here, along that side, and then the same thing on the opposite side as well. So let's see what happens now. We should be able to lower the amount of industrial that we have here, and then we should be able to increase our employment percentage, and then we should get rid of this bubble right here, and then hopefully we'll be able to get things back in the balance. By the way, I've been seeing a few trains come through over to this side, and when they get here, every time they disappear, which is really strange. Really don't understand that. And now we've got to keep an eye on our vitals again. I've got to shift the budget and keep it all in balance. So at the moment we need a little bit more electricity. I think I actually just turned that down a touch. And we need more water by quite a bit. And we need more incinerators. There we go. And we'll probably have to just build some more facilities soon and then put the budget back down. But there we go. We're sort of perhaps learning something. It's kind of hard to tell. Still at 65%. And some of the offices are now popping up. Okay, that's good. And they're probably... oh, they've already got maxed out workers. That's very interesting. Okay, so people are now finding work. Will we see this shift up? 66%. Okay, I think we've kind of found out what the problem was there. Also just noticed on the vitals meter, things shifting back down this way again. So I think actually we've bitten off a little more than we can chew. Time to upgrade the services and adjust the budget again. So the next problem is now not enough raw materials over here. So we've still got all of this. We've still got all of this the same. Nothing has shrunk. So if we had too many raw materials, we would have been exporting them. Now they're limited to the city. Now we have shortages. Not really sure what to make of that. Another little bit of a mystery. Over here are zoned offices all the way around the outside. Now our population is starting to kind of level out and shrink a little bit. And you can see, yeah, lots of offices, adjusted all of this. And I don't know, I was sort of expecting a population boom a little bit there, but our industrial demand has gone all the way down, and our employment percentage has gone up to 66%. So now we have no more demand for offices, and still not everyone is employed. So that seemingly being a solution apparently is not. Confusing stuff, right? I don't know what to make of this sometimes. And there was something else I was going to show you. Completely forgotten what it was. Alright, well I think we're going to wrap things up for today. Spent a lot of time watching the city grow, watch things happen to it, and I'm starting to feel a little bit strange about this series because the fun has kind of been sucked out of the game a little bit. Maybe we picked the wrong challenge, maybe we really did just go against the grain of the game, so to speak, and one of the things I was really looking forward to in this city was actually the aesthetics, and I'm not sure that I really like the map too much. It doesn't really play to what I was kind of envisioning, so to speak. So as always, I'm looking forward to your feedback, and if you watched the video all this way through, thanks for watching. This city has been pretty disastrous compared to the last one, which just seemed to be a case of everything I did worked, which is a little bit strange because I guess we tried to do something different and it didn't work. So it's not strange, it kind of makes a lot of sense. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Thank you as always for watching. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye. Thanks for watching this video. I have a second channel where you can find additional videos of my Twitch live streams. If you're interested in watching one of my live streams, then come over to Twitch and hit that follow button to be notified of when I go live. And if you're not subscribed over here on YouTube, then feel free to subscribe for more content like this. I also have a creative plot world server, play.xisumavoid.com, where you can build on your own plot and join in the fun with our wonderful community. And if you like social media, then you can interact with me on Twitter at xisumavoid.com. Links to all the relevant things can be found in the description box below.